All right, guys, it's time to discuss Revit. All right, what I'm going to do here is just kind of go over the user interface with you so that you understand what the relationship is between different modeled elements in Revit, okay? And I know some of you have opened the software before, but most of you have not, so I apologize for those of you who have experience. But it is really, truly important that you all have the same sort of basic understanding. So the sample project that I opened up starts off the splash screen. The default screen is the cover page. Okay, we'll talk about that stuff, kind of like formatting your pages and stuff later. But similar to say AutoCAD, I guess there's like a model space and there's like a layout space in a way. The sheets here are listed in the project browser. So you can, the project browser, it lists all the different views and sheets all at the same time. So I'll show you where the project browser is before I show you any of the tools. Okay, that is right here. So I'm gonna just kind of yank this thing off the side for a moment and stretch it so that it makes sense. All right, so this is your project browser. What it has is views, right? So floor plans, 3Ds, elevations, sections, details, renderings, blah, 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 all the way down. It has a set of legends and sheets and some schedules and stuff. We will talk about what all of those are, but these are all the basic elements that you'll be working with in Revit, okay? You also have a whole list of what's called families, and these families are essentially smart objects that exist in the Revit environment. Okay, whether it's a two-dimensional object that's on a sheet or a three-dimensional object that's in the model. Okay, so the term families is like a hyper-universal term for an object. Okay, so anyway, we'll get into that. So let's kind of basically like whatever view or sheet or element you're working on will show up highlighted in your project browser. So right now we're on sheet A001. So if you double click on anything here, like a A101 site plan, that pulls up the site plan like that. Okay, so it's just another sheet that exists in that file. Okay, I'm going to kind of window that and just show you the relationship of these views. Okay. This part, you know, the way that you work through the software, how you format the way the software looks is different for everyone. The way that I like to work is I like to see the views that I'm working on, similar to like a Mac user, you know, so I used Mac for a while in my life. So some of you might hate this, that's okay, but this is what I'm going to do a lot. So there are numerous sheets that we work on, and we also have numerous views that we will work on as well. What I want to do real quick is open up a plan view and an elevation view, and I'll show you the relationship of those two elements. So I'm going to close both of those. Oops, I closed the project. My bad. Hang on. That's a really good point there. So real quick, let me just show you something I usually do with my splash screens. I usually just keep like a splash screen, like a, I don't know. Let's see. Let's do just grab a detail view for now. All right, so normally I have a splash screen rather than a title screen that isn't a sheet. So that way, and it just has like what project it is, and I just do this and I put it up in the top left corner and I never close it. That way I don't make a mistake of closing my file without saving. Okay, but you guys can do that or not do that, it's up to you. So anyway, plan view and a elevation view. So let's go to the level 1 floor plan. I'll put that up here in this corner. And if you double click your middle mouse wheel, that centerizes the view. And then I'm going to open up an elevation view. Okay, so I think I want to do the south elevation. There we go. All right, so notice real quick that I opened up the south elevation from the project browser. Okay, I don't need to open it up from the project browser. The beauty of having smart families or objects in the view is that I can use those to help facilitate my navigation through the project. So I can, instead of opening it up from the project browser, since I'm working on the floor plan already, all I have to do is go to the south elevation, click that view, right click it, and go to elevation view. And there it is. Pretty awesome, right? Yeah, I was pretty shocked and amazed at that the first time I saw it. I will say this, I nerded out quite a bit on that. So anyway, the other thing that I want to show you that's really awesome about the relationship of modeled elements in Revit is the fact that all of this is happening live. So for those of us who are AutoCAD users, you're used to having to modify something in plan and then modify something in elevation. Well, here in Revit, because it's a 3D model that's being basically like simulcasted to all these other views in real time, anything you modify gets modified right there. So, what's that? Yeah, yes, purely. So which direction are we facing here? Yeah, we're facing down there. So here in elevation view, notice I clicked on that chimney object. Well, if I click into my floor plan view, you can see that that chimney element is selected. That tells us something, right? If I go to this, let's see, all right, handrail, right? Let's say I want to get rid of that handrail and make it a dangerous life safety hazard. Hit delete there. It disappears there. It also disappeared here, right? Super smart model, right? All this stuff is being simulcasted all at the same time. If I want to, let's see, if I want to change the mullion spacing on the storefront here, so I'm going to zoom in on that. Okay, I'm going to go to architecture. You guys don't have to do this. I'm doing it really fast just to show you. But I just grab a curtain grid. This is a little laggy. Oh, IT and I have to talk about this. All right, so I popped in another mullion, and that mullion showed up right here. Okay, so that has tremendous capabilities for us being able to put together an entire architectural working drawing set and not having to worry about how it's being coordinated throughout the set. Okay, so I mean, those are just two small little things, but you'll see as we get working in it that it is profoundly smarter than other software packages that you've used. Okay, any questions on that so far? All right, so how many of you have actually worked in an architectural setting before? Just one, two, three, four-ish, okay, five-ish. All right. Well, anyway, I guess for those of us who have a little bit more experience, I want to show you just one of the things that I think is pretty amazing. Actually, I could just do it here, right? So let me go back to those two views that we had: the first floor plan and the south elevation. All right. So let's say I need to get rid of the south elevation, right? Right now it's on sheet A103. So let me open up 103. We'll take a look at that. This elevation exists on this sheet. Okay. So as I modified that mullion and the railing, that also got modified on the sheet. Okay. Obviously, right? Now I'm just beating a dead horse. But one of the things that's really cool about this when it comes to working drawings is we have all of these tags, right? Elevation tags, detail tags, view callouts and stuff like that, which you guys will get well acquainted with throughout the course of the semester, right? These are all tags. Those tags are smart to where they exist in the actual drawing set. So while right now this floor plan has no context, right? It exists in some space, right? We have a relationship to the actual drawing set because this is smart enough to know what that location of that view is. So if I change the location from, let's say I want to change it from 103 to 104, and I'm going to get it real messy here, but I'm just going to take this south elevation and I'm going to say, you know what, I want it on 104 instead. So I drop it onto 104 instead, and the floor plan changed to 104. Yeah, pretty huge, right?
You just dragged it?
I just dragged it. Yeah, you can't drag it from one sheet to the other sheet in view. You have to do it from the project browser. Okay, we're going to get into all this stuff like in great detail as I introduce each thing, each lesson. But right now I'm just giving you an overview. Yeah. you have a question?
Are you recording?
I am.
Oh.
Yeah, good call. Okay, so anyway, so that was kind of the essence of what Revit's model elements relationships are and what makes it smart. Okay, so any questions about that before I kind of cut this video and then we go into like the UI layout and everything like that? No? Okay, you all feel like you got a good picture of what Revit does, at least a little bit? All right. Awesome.